I'm not gonna act like people say this all the time to me, but it gets said, and I want to address it. Just do a video dedicated on it. You've heard me mention this, so to some of you guys, you will hear me say this, and it'll be like a broken record because I say it all the time. But you have people that, a lot of them are black. Usually it's Twitter normies. People that, become experts on comic book characters that they just Googled 10 minutes ago. You know what I'm talking about. And as passionate as I've been about this subject of tokenization, and I've talked about how I've condemned the act, and let me define it for the idiots who don't know what I mean by that. When I say tokenization, I mean specifically changing the race, gender, sexuality, or whatever of a character because of that, you know what I mean? Or having like a copy of that character that's based on that sexuality or something, non-binary Flash, or your beloved Miles Morales. Those are forms of tokenization. Now, not all tokenized characters are equal. I've said many times that She-Hulk, as an example, is the best tokenized character that I can think of in modern comics. Supergirl's up there too. Not modern comics, it's comic books. Like modern, the characters have not been written well if the shows had anything to do with it. I'm talking about the actual books. But despite me saying that I don't want that, dishonest people have to say, well, you have something against like black characters. Now, that's nonsense, considering the fact that I've covered so many black characters. I've even done top 3 characters that should be expanded upon for both Marvel and DC. I've covered them. I've covered these original characters. I've talked about them. But they're stupid, right? And because these normies, they see the world, and it's not just normies, to be fair, but you get what I'm saying. These people only believe that legitimate superhero characters are the ones that have existed forever and are white. Now, I've never made that claim, and I don't know anybody that reads comic books that has ever made that claim either. But that's the premise that they operate under. So what you get is weirdos like this that say stuff like this to me. And I'm going to read it because I want to make an example of this crackhead. He says, yes, he's responded to my video talking about Ta-Nehisi Coates and these tokenized characters. He says, yes, propping up some random house Negro, that's what he calls me, in a sad attempt to hide your racism and bigotry, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to address that particular point because you do get people that see me and my black behind be against tokenization, talk against, say why I don't like the Miles Morales of the world, Black Superman, Black Spider-Man, Black Batman, which is now a thing, all the various tokenized characters that happened recently with, not just with all new, all different Marvel, but recently more so with DC's Future State, where we got a bunch of tokenized characters. And you hear me say that, and you get the normies who would then see me, and they think because I'm black, I'm supposed to automatically eat everything it is that they give you. So if they give you Miles Morales, Spider-Man, which is nothing but Peter Parker and Jordan 1s, when you consider his attitude and his, and how he acts, his personality in the comic books, he's just Peter Parker with Jordan 1s. But you see that, and they think that, well, you should be happy, right? Oh, look at the representation, all of this other bull crap. And then they throw out, okay, house Negro, these types of terms to define me. And I want to address that point because it's hilarious. Because think about it. These fools are the ones who sit there and foam at the mouth anytime. Usually it's white people at the helm, right? That are usually like the CEOs even of these companies, or even the directors of these companies that hire these people that do these, like creatively directors or editors or whatever, or producers in movies cases where they tokenize the character. Maybe a white character was a white character and then he was a black character. Now all of a sudden in the comic book, and they dangle that little carrot in front of you. So effectively, this is what you're getting: the sloppy seconds of a character that has historically been white. That's what you're getting. So this is why when they say those things, I call it a projection. They have some insecurity about their own blackness, or if they're like maybe non-black or something like that. But just this is a black dude that said this, so we'll talk about them. But they have some sort of insecurity where they not only need validation by way of these fictional characters, which makes you effectively a loser as far as I'm concerned. But think about it: the only ones that you see legit are the sloppy seconds. Superman, we know who Superman is. It's Kal-El. Batman, we know who Batman is. It's Bruce Wayne. He's a historically white character. We know who Spider-Man is. It's Peter Parker. Historically white characters. And you will take a black version of him in order for you to feel validated. And not only that, you'll defend it. When they throw that little tokenized bone, that little carrot, and you go up there and eat it. Easy. And I'm the house Negro? That's why I say it's a projection. They have some insecurity within themselves that they don't like that, because you've never heard me be against black characters. No. That doesn't mean just because he's a black character doesn't mean I like him. No, of course not. But if the black character's handled decently and he's original, I have no problem addressing it. Storm. Looking at my wall right now. I got Storm, Misty, Brother Voodoo. Right there. You can see him in the shot. Original black character. I was talking about him before anybody else was talking about him on the internet. Now y'all about to, he probably gonna end up popping up soon, Jericho, Drum, if you will. Or one, I think they already mentioned actually Drum, one of the drums, if I'm not mistaken, his brother or something like that. We'll see. But you know, we get Brother Voodoo, it's Bishop right there. In my big studio, you've seen me have a Vixen and what have you. You've never heard me bitch about those characters. Why? Because I'm fine with them. I'm okay with them. I just want original ones. Ones that I don't want a hand-me-down. I don't want a second, a sloppy second. I don't want a black variation of a classically white character. I just want an originally black character, not black Superman, black Batman, black Spider-Man. Just a character that is Brother Voodoo. Straight from scratch, original, top to bottom. The reason they say that I'm the house nigga for advocating that is because, well, maybe they have some insecurity with themselves, and you need that pat on the head from that white man, and you need that sloppy second, because the only legitimate characters that you find as legitimate are classically white characters. See, I don't see that, right? There's characters that maybe are very popular that I might not like. I don't see them as one more valid than the other. That's what you do, which is why you are perfectly fine with Black Superman. See, it's a projection. And I just wish y'all be honest with yourselves and say that. You got a problem. You got insecurity issues to where you need to be validated by white folk. You ain't never heard me beg for validation from white people ever. I just understand this game, and I'd rather have original characters. I don't want a black version of a classically white character. So if you're going to call me that, it is what it is. I mean, your words don't mean them, but you got to understand, like, we see through the gimmick. You're projecting.